Page.
Here we go. We're back.
Sweat for the swag in the morning. I'm your brother, Prince Cree.
And I am Lady D.
Before we get into this amazing, gifted, amazing guest that we have, Lady D, tell everybody what swag means.
Swag means save with amazing grace.
And morning do not mean daytime. It means new hope, new beginning, freedom from being in the darkness.
That's right.
And this Thursday stage is yours. We're going to bring you into the night.
That's right.
So, Lady D, how are you feeling?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. This is a tough one right here. It's Thursday before our celebration on this weekend. And so I'm hanging in there. I normally supposed to be sitting aside and letting Lady D do this interview solo, but I just thought it would be I'll be hating. I'll be jealous if
he wasn't gonna let me do this by myself. He wasn't gonna let me.
Wooten on her own, I just wouldn't have felt right. So I'm violating my short term.
Yeah.
Not really. I can speak low and I can speak really low, and like I'm on my Frankie Crocker voice. For those that don't know, Frankie Crocker and WBLS, that's I have my midnight podcast voice. This is your brother Prince Cree, and you're welcome to the swag in the morning.
See, he acting up already, y'all. Listen, he's missed it. I'm telling you, I've been doing, the podcast by myself.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, he's been sitting on the side, but I know he's been hating on me because, I actually been holding it down, Yeah. But I mean, that's
you've been doing a good job.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I must say.
You taught me well.
Yeah, you holding it down for the pre-service and the LG talk.
Yeah.
The pre and the post service, and I'm very proud of you. Lady
well,
D.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I heard you going solo. Heard you got your podcast in the makings.
In the makings, yes.
Well.
Yes.
All right, hand claps. Let's get some claps in there. Get some claps. So, Lady D, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world today.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, and to give our guests the stage and their flowers in advance.
Yeah.
It is important for us to document this. We lost a loved one, a friend, a sister that's near and dear to our hearts. Not too long ago.
It's actually a week and a day.
Yeah.
Week in one day.
Mm-hmm. Shout out and rest in paradise to our baby sister, Turquoise. Mm-hmm. She's also our choreographer. She's been rocking with My Life Matters since 2017 when her brother didn't have a clue. Me and Lady D, we were just going, and Turk would just get on the stage and say, I'll do this, I'll do that.
Yes.
She's in my ear. She's helping coach the singers. Yes. Turk was like, you better not change that. That was her last words she said at the Z Theater.
You better not.
That was her last time performing with her angels, her 10 dancers. But so she will forever be on our stage.
Yes.
No question about that.
Right.
So just to be on this this show, this episode is very important to me.
Yeah.
Because this guest that we're gonna bring in, she's not only a councilwoman in the city of Virginia Beach, in the Centerville district. She has a lot of stuff that's going on, Lady D. You want to say some stuff? Because I know you looking at me like I'm hogging and I should be on board with this.
I am not.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. See, I should have just let you interview. I should have let you just interview it on your own. Go ahead.
You know what? One thing I'm going to say is that you're back. You're back. You just couldn't wait to give me a hard time. But listen, you know what? Before we bring her on, one of the amazing things that I love, just looking back and reflecting, one of the things that I love that we did when we started out is that we always gave the stage to other people. Yeah. Right. Yes. We always had that ability to give the stage to other people and to let them shine bright in the place and space that they were in. Yes. And, made different recordings, and so we have those things to always look back on, to let them know I appreciate what you do. I appreciate your God-given talent, your gifts, and everything like that. So you know what, I want to say, just take this time to say to you, thank you, because without you bringing that idea and shoving it, in my lap, just making me do this, I don't
Okay.
know
I
where we
made you
would
do
be
this.
today.
Okay.
You
All
did.
right.
I mean, you had already put it in place and then tell me that, I'm
See,
gonna be the
that's the only
co-host.
way I can do it. I did a turquoise.
You did a turquoise on me.
Lady D, you hosting, and you're gonna say, yeah, I did a turquoise.
Yeah. So you know what? So kudos to us, because we do give people, we believe in that. We believe in saying, you know what, I love what you do. And not always having the light shine on us. We know how to stand back and let others shine. And that's the awesome part of it, is to just, let people shine. So
I agree. And rumor has it, before we bring the guests in, is that while you and Lady D do not speak to the local folks, our platform is to give those who we feel, it's because we're technically not a local podcast. We are located in the Hampton Roads in Virginia Beach. However, this guest might be local, but I'm gonna tell you something. She's a star that I'm getting ready to ask her the question. And this is the only question I'm got few questions, Lady D, okay? Okay. Because she deserved to represent us in other ways. Put your hands together for the amazing, okay? The awesome, our new family member, Councilwoman Sabrina. See, I can't even yell. I can't act the fool.
Don't do it. Don't do it,
welcome,
sir.
Welcome. The stage is yours, Queen. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I feel really blessed. I really do. I have a lot of joy. I'm excited, to be here, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Really, really humbled. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Before I get going, let me get my questions out of the way, because Lady D is kicking me under the table, y'all. See, I always got to put her on blast, because she's been kicking me since the first episode that we had. And okay, I'm gonna get my questions out. First of all, how have you been handling and maintaining through this pandemic?
So it has been just really long, for just like for everyone. It's just seems like it's been extended, but I think that throughout this whole process, you just learn how to continue to live. And so I have adjusted, and I have just continued to get up every day, to live, to do what I know God has called me to do, and just live through it. I've been living through it like so many others.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a battle. It's been definitely tough, as far as you as a working for council and your family and all of the wonderful things that you do. Just getting past that with all the things we see, losing folks, losing family members, losing people in your district, and etc. It's definitely something I tell folks. We got to pray for each other's mental health and mental wellness. And that's one of the things Lady D and myself, we push that through our ministry, through our Play My Life Matters. It's all about the mental health and strengthening the mental health. So I'm pretty sure it has been very challenging, and we will continue to pray for you, big sister, through the council and in your household.
Right.
Definitely. So getting all my questions out, Lady D?
No, you go ahead,
okay,
sir.
let me bounce first, because I'm not going to talk anymore. I promise you. Now, let me ask you something. There's something I read, and this is reading this on the council website and think in your bio. You are a native of Germany?
Yes. Yes, I am. Do you want me to talk about that? Okay. So one of the great things for me, I love, because oftentimes people, when they ask you, well, where are you from? They just expect, she's local. She's from around here. So I love when people ask me that. I said, well, I was born in Germany. And so they're like, how is that possible? But it's possible because my dad was in the military. So I was born on military base in Stuttgart, Germany. So I was there for about 2 years. So I was a little toddler when I left. But my father was in the military. He was stationed there. I was born there. And so after a couple of years, we left. But I always laugh about that. But it's one of those things. My dad says, "Well, I almost delivered you in the taxi cab on the way to the hospital." So I always remember that. But yes, that's where I was born.
Okay.
I haven't been back since, but it's on my to-do list to go back.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the part that got me. I read it and I'm like, wait a minute, let me do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had and like you said, the first thing people automatically think is that you're local, and that's exactly what caught me off guard. I was like, oh, let me read it again. That said Germany, so kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Yes.
Well, it's my father, my mother. I kind of, if it weren't for them and I guess the orders of the military,
Yes,
things would have probably been different. But I think it's also comical because when I was in school as a student at ODU, they used to always red flag me. She's not from here. She's a foreigner. I'm thinking, are you serious? I was born there, but I am an American citizen. So it's always been comical to me. So.
no.
Yes. All right. So here's this is it for me, Lady D. You can jump
it's okay. It's really
okay. I can flow with you.
You can flow with me.
All right, but I can't. Now, with all the great things you're doing in the city of Virginia Beach, all right, now, I'm not trying to push you out of here. Right? I want you to stay in the grind and stay in the cut. But do you have any thoughts, or is your eye is on the Senate? Do you have plans to go into the Senate? Because I'm not going to lie, I would love for you to be in the Senate. That's just me. Because you can do a lot of things, get a lot of things done, because you're already getting it done in the city of Virginia Beach. So my question is, do you have any eyes? Are you window shopping for the Senate?
Well, I appreciate that question. And, oftentimes when people, they ask that question, or, what's your goal? When I started this whole journey, I always said, I want to start locally. So it's always been my goal to be a part of my local community. And it's always important for me to be open to opportunities. I'm here where I am now, and I'm working, and it's a privilege to serve where I am. But certainly, as whatever the work is, wherever the work takes you or takes me, I'm willing to go where the work is. And so that's why I started locally, because there's a lot of work here. And as I'm working, as I finish the job that I'm doing and the mission that I'm doing, certainly open to other opportunities.
That deserves some hand claps, Lady D.
Yes.
Yes. I'm still going to be campaigning for you. All right, lady.
All right, Councilman. So listen, for those of us that are watching and don't really know what it is that, council people do, can just share with us, what is it that you do? What is your job title?
Absolutely. So it's so important to represent your community. And so I represent the community, the local community of Centerville, District 1, which is now District 7 with the new electoral system. But I'm the person who goes to city council meetings every Tuesday. During those meetings, I'm there voting on important issues, anywhere from the budget. How much money will we approve for our school systems to spend? I'm voting on issues as to what new businesses come into the city of Virginia Beach. Also, transportation issues, infrastructure, flooding, all of those things. I am the representative who listens to the concerns of the citizens and vote the way they would want me to vote on those really important issues. It can be public safety. It can be a whole myriad of issues. But what I'm really doing as a representative is listening to the people. And when those issues come up, vote as the people would want me to vote.
Wow. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for standing in for us. This is what I want to shout out and I want to point out is that you've been in office since 2018.
Mhm.
And I also realized that you were the one who was elected for a second term. And you're the only African American woman who has done that.
Let's do
Yes.
this. Let's do
So
this.
yeah.
Gotta give us some hand
Yes.
claps.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
She's the one to do a second term in Virginia, Virginia Beach City Council.
Mhm.
So we do want to shout out to you, shout you out for that, and thank you so much for the work
Appreciate
that you're doing. I appreciate you and all that you do, because if you're speaking for the people, you're speaking for so many people. So no doubt you have to be a good listener, and not
Yeah.
only you have to be a good listener. Now you have to apply. You have to apply that. I mean, and I'm sure you've heard so many things. So it's so many things that you have to weigh upon.
Yes.
So thank you. I appreciate what you do.
Oh, it's my
Um,
pleasure. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So now it also says that you have a passion, right? One of your passions or one of my passions, and that's what I really, really want to dig into. And one of your passions include combating poverty. And you speak up for the homeless, you advocate for local businesses and things like that. And I appreciate that. But most of all, I appreciate the poverty part, because that is the part that tugs on my heart.
Yes.
And we need people to speak up and speak out for those who really can't do it for themselves. So how do you do that?
So, it's interesting because it's always been a concern for me in terms of homelessness, and addressing poverty. Even before I was on council, of course, I was in my local church working, doing outreach. And of course, when you're doing outreach, your eyes are open to so many concerns of those who are less fortunate, who don't have. And so I had that experience in, collecting blankets for the homeless, or going to the local homeless shelter, feeding people every week, hot, nutritious meal, or setting up a food pantry for people who just need extra uh, goods, food, and resources to get by to the next week. And so that's where my background is from. And so coming into the political realm, the focus that I had was, well, God, these are issues that I've seen before.
Mhm.
How do I use my influence to address homelessness? So it can be something as simple as there are times I go to programs to bring awareness to homelessness, the percentage of homeless people we have in our population, finding ways to address uh, food insecurity, or perhaps it's unemployment, and looking at all the systemic ways that lead people into being homeless and poverty, speaking up when there are issues with affordable housing,
Mhm.
because that's usually how people sometimes find themselves being homeless. They can't afford the rent.
Right.
It's too high.
Mhm.
So when we have issues of affordable housing, and we're trying to find ways as a body to find affordable housing, being that advocate, finding out ways how we can change ordinances to make affordable housing easier for people so they
Right.
don't get to that point. And so it's really bringing awareness, advocating, educating people, because a lot of people don't really know the percentage of homeless population we have here, or how to address it. And so for me, I really want to craft legislation that will address some of those systemic issues that lead to poverty and homelessness. And I think being an elected official is one of the best ways to address homelessness, because it's the laws a lot of times that creates those systemic practices and issues that lead to homelessness. And so even when I was a youth, I always said, I want to craft the legislation because it impacts me. It impacts my community. It impacts every issue. So why don't I write some legislation to help some of those issues?
So, Councilwoman, wouldn't that be the Senate or the Congress?
He's trying to get you there.
Next question, Lady D.
Well, it in that place, in that area, there is a big opportunity to affect change in that way.
Okay. So I'm campaigning for you. All right, Lady D.
I think he's working on it. Okay, so listen, you have a business background.
Yeah.
You have a business background, and you have a seminar that you do, the Ignite Business Series seminar. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that, and how do I get in there?
Absolutely. That's so important to me, because the Ignite Business Series was born out of the disparity study that we had in Virginia Beach, and that still exists today. So some of the recommendations from the disparity study were to educate and bring awareness to opportunities in the city of Virginia Beach to do business with the city through contracting or with the city of Virginia Beach. And so when I came into office, that's one of the first areas I looked at was a disparity study and creating this program called Ignite to educate entrepreneurs, business owners, specifically small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority businesses, and then service-disabled veteran businesses, because these are the individuals who experience the disparity. They don't get the information all of the time for these opportunities. And so the Ignite Business Series, I will host at least 3 to 4 times a year to shed light on some of those critical areas, whether it's federal contracting. Maybe 1 month it's about entrepreneurship, or perhaps it focuses on young entrepreneurs or micro businesses. So it's really bringing together experts and allowing them to educate individuals how to get those resources. And generally, I post that information on my website or through the city, and people just sign up to be a part of those programs.
Okay. Well, I'm about to.
And it's free. Did I mention free? It's all free.
It's free. It's all free, and you know what, and we need that. It's a lot of us that want to go into it. Now let me ask you, is it can you be a part of that if you're just thinking about going into business, or you have to have a business already?
You can just be thinking about it. There is one session, and hopefully I will do it in September. It's called the Ignite Business Boot Camp.
Okay.
And that specifically focuses on people who are thinking about being a part of the business industry. Perhaps it gives you those basics. How do I do a business plan, or who do I need to talk to in the city of Virginia Beach if I have a business or considering a business? So it's for everybody, whether you have one or not.
Right.
I love it.
I mean, and it's good because it's needed. I learned that in the pandemic, there were so many businesses that had been birthed, and there was so many people, because we were stuck in a place. And I mean, because of your biblical background, and your theology and all of that, where I'm coming from, that we were stuck in a place where we had we had nothing else to do. So we began to see our God-given talents. And I believe that in the pandemic is where a whole lot of people learned who they really were. And so many businesses have been birthed, and I'm praying that those businesses that was birthed in the pandemic will, they will far exceed their wildest imagination, because they had no clue.
Yeah, they say it's plandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic.
You have a plan, just
That's
like
it.
I like that.
said, the plandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a plan. God said He would not send flood anymore. He did not say He would not allow this to come in and make us more aware to focus on Him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people must have got it twisted that they forgot to give Him glory. And so this is why He allowed these things to come in, so we can have a plan. Either you're gonna, even churches were shut down because they said, listen, you're focusing too much on the mega church.
Yeah.
I want you to focus on the real church, which is your body, which is your member, as being members of Christ. And, so He had to get everyone to refocus on the plan. Submit your plans to the Lord, and He will establish you. So I truly believe this is the time that we need. Unfortunately, we lost some loved ones through the journey.
Yeah.
But God says, get on your mark, get set, and go.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to follow that, so that
What's that website? What's that website?
We're gonna get that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me.
Sometimes my Facebook, I usually post things on Facebook. Next Ignite series coming up. And then sometimes you can find it on vbgov.com. But usually my Facebook's City Council member Facebook, I just post them up there to make sure people are aware, and those kinds of Instagram, Twitter, I'll post it up there.
Okay, so she on the social media websites.
All right,
Y'all
you
better
popping,
follow
you
her. She
lit.
I'm trying. The young people told me, they said, Miss Wooten, you need to be on Instagram. You need to be on Twitter. We'll help you if you don't know. So they've been helping me along.
Well, that's awesome, because we do need them. If they don't know how to do anything else, they know how to do the social medias. Put them to work. Now, you know what? I also see that you are an author. So talk about that.
So, I was able to, and blessed to be able to write a few articles. For one was during my undergraduate level at Regent. And it was in the form of if you will, I don't want to say it's not a biblical session, but you know how you have your morning sessions that you read. And so oftentimes that's what I used to do. I would just write reflections, biblical reflections, just about life in general. So I had an opportunity to write articles about that, encouraging messages that help people throughout their life. And I believe at some point I will probably do a book just full of biblical reflections. And then I've also had an opportunity to write about church and social policy, just as it relates to the strength of the church and how the church is a force that works in the community. So I've written articles about that as well. And hopefully, very soon, I'd like to write a book about some of my experiences. And so that's on my list. So I got started with the opportunities doing different articles to kind of reflect and put light on certain areas.
Okay, I can't wait for that book of experiences to come out. I just can't wait.
Me and your prayers. I'm working on it.
All right. Okay. So last but not least, we talked about the businesswoman. We talked about you being in office and the things that you do for the community. So let's learn a little bit about you and what you do, what you like to do in your family life. So what is that like?
Well, I have I'm married. I've been married. Our anniversary is this month, actually. So it's been a year.
Wow. Okay.
It's been a blessing. My husband is very supportive. That's one thing I like about him. I've been in relationships where my significant other was not as supportive. And My husband is very supportive. When I told him about running, he was the first cheerleader, and
Wow.
still is. He advocates when I'm not advocating, and people know about what I'm doing because he told them.
Wow.
And I'm so amazed, but I thank God for him. I also have a son. He's 22 years old, and so we try to, as a family. Of course, he's not in the household now, but he's out doing, other things and working on his career. But we try to travel. I like to travel.
Okay.
Just getting in the car and taking a drive takes my mind off of things. And so I like to travel. Of course, I like to watch a good movie. I'd probably say I'm more of, I don't really like all the thrillers, but I do like those movies that make you think, who did it? Who did it? I'm not trying to figure it out. So I do like those as well. And certainly reading. I like to do a lot of reading. Just to kind of reflect. And I like to hold the book, to get the book in my hand and hold it and go through the pages. I do audio books sometimes and I have that, but I just like the book. I like to hold it and go through it and feel it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I asked that question because I feel like, we see, the council people, we see the council members, and we always see them in the light of, what they do, but we really don't take the time to know who they are, and I want the viewers to understand that, yes, you are a councilwoman. Yes, you are out in the forefront. Yes, everybody sees your face and everybody thinks this and they think that, but you are human just like we are. You do the same thing that we do. You watch TV and you like to do that and you like to do this. So I like for them to see that, because I feel like when you on the same level as the ones who are watching you, that so much can be done, because now they feel like, I know her a little bit more and she likes this, and they realize that, wow, she's human.
Yes.
She's human just like me, so
Absolutely.
that's why I asked that. And like we said, we wasn't going to take up much of your time, but this is the portion where we give you the stage and tell us what you want us to know. What are your final words to us?
The stage is yours.
Well, one thing that I would like to say, of course, is I love the format where you give people an opportunity just to talk about themselves and really be human. Because as you mentioned, sometimes people see you on TV or they see you doing things and they don't really realize I'm just like they are. I have, had dreams and passions, and God allowed me and has blessed me like you do. You work in your mission and passion. And so God is allowing me to work in the passion and the mission that he's given me, even from a young child. I tell people I was 14 years old in the 9th grade when I went to the General Assembly, and I saw someone who looked like me. That was Senator Louise Lucas in the General Assembly at that time. I was in 9th grade. And then there was also another Senator Forbes. And I met them and something sparked inside of me. And ever since that day, I always wanted to be a part of the process. So it started there, in the 9th grade. And who knew years later that spark would grow into what I'm doing now. But again, as you mentioned, I'm just like anybody else with a passion and a dream to change the world we live in, because that's really how it starts.
Wow.
Wow.
Because and again, the stage is yours. Our format was always designed to put the light on you as the person.
Right.
And we accomplished that. So here's the fistful of roses from the swag. When you come in our house, you're a family member, and we treat you forever as our family. We'll check on you. We'll pray for you as you, the person,
right? The person,
not the councilwoman. We're going to pray for you there as well, but we'd rather focus on who you are, because you're a blessing. You blessed our ministry. You And we like to say this: we love you to life, and there's nothing you can do about it but love us back. We believe in you. We trust in you. This is an important interview for us because we like to document things like this so that forever you will be on our stage.
Yeah.
So we love you, lady.
Yeah, you know what? Here on the swag is what we do. As he said, we always take everybody in as family. You know, we just love to give love, and we always give them a name. So I'm gonna say that your name now is Auntie Sabrina.
Auntie Sabrina.
Auntie Sabrina. That's who she is.
I like that.
Thank you.
With all due respect.
Because you know, as you know, for me, it's just like having that best friend, and you always tell your kids this is Auntie so and so, and that's because you feel so connected to them, and you feel close enough to them that you're not going to put them in just that spot, but you're going to give them a family spot. So we made a spot here for you, you know. So now you're Auntie Sabrina to us, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us to share a little piece of yourself. So now we know you just a little bit better, and our viewers do too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
It's an honor for us. Put your hands together for the incredible, the amazing Auntie Sabrina.
Yes. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm honored to wear that name and that title. Thank you, family.
We love you.
To the house. We love you, sis. Auntie. It's world famous swag in the morning. It's world famous swag in the morning. I am back partially, and this is as long as I can speak. 30 minutes.
Well, you did really good. You did very good.
Out and I shut up from there, right?
That's it. And you're speaking very low. So
very low. My you like my sexy voice? Hey, Lady D, my Billy D. Williams.
Whoa.
Hey, baby. Hey.
That's not Billy, baby. That's
not Billy D. Okay.
Nope.
It's world famous swag in the morning. Until next week, we're gonna sit down. It's American Gangster Trap Queen.
Yes. Yeah.
Who do we have, Lady D? Do you know?
Yes, I do, but don't tell them now.
Don't tell them now. All right, so we got American Gangster Trap Queen.
That's it.
Thursday.
It's gonna be juicy.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be juicy. Then we got a good lineup, and we introducing the Dynamic Perspective podcast with Diva Danielle is coming to the Swag Media Network.
Absolutely.
She was a special guest co-host on the SNS show, and she just decided to roll off and put in a perspective podcast. And she got a great lineup for June, for the month of June.
Yes.
I am excited for her. She had the pleasure to sit in and be the co-host, and now she's hosting her own thing.
Yes, so check her out every Tuesday, guys.
Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
It's World Famous Swag in the morning, and we are out of here.
You are now listening to a Big on the Track creation.
Shout out to Big Fella, the track connoisseur. Love that dude.